Can you imagine doing your job and here comes a stranger and then you realize it's an angel of God? How amazing is that? So I want you to listen to the second part of our story and see what God does with the Israelites. Then Gideon was terrified. He knew he had been face to face with an angel. He heard God speak in his mind, saying, "Don't be afraid, Gideon. All will be well." Soon, news came that the Midianites were preparing for another raid. "Now," God told Gideon, and sent him signs to prove that the time had come. So Gideon sent messengers to the call of 4 nearest Israelite tribes to him to prepare to fight. To his astonishment, Gideon soon found he had an army of 32,000 men. "Too many," God told him. "If this many people fight, they will say they won by their own strength, not by my help. Tell everyone who is afraid to go home." Gideon did so, and only 10,000 remained. "Still too many," sighed God. "Take everyone down to the river to drink. Those who lap up the water with their tongues can stay. Those who scoop up water in their hands must go." After that, Gideon had only 300 people left. "That's better," God said, and explained what he should do. That night, Gideon gave each man a trumpet and a torch covered by a jar. So the light was dim. He split the fighters into 3 groups and set them creeping up in the Midianite camp with different directions. When Gideon signaled, the men blew their trumpets for all they were worth, shouting, "For God and for Gideon!" And they smashed the jars so the torches blazed in the darkness. Of course, the Midianites woke up confused and terrified, thinking that a mighty army was attacking them. In the darkness and the panic, many began fighting each other. The rest ran for their lives and were chased and killed by Gideon and his men. And the Israelites were able to live in peace for 40 years until the brave and mighty Gideon died. How incredible is the story of Gideon. God knew that if he had an army of 30,000 people, people would say, "You won the war because there were so many people." But God wanted the Israelites to see that they won the war not because of the amount of soldiers, but because his love for the soldiers was so great, and God's love for the Israelites was so good that they won the war, not because the soldiers were brave, but because God loved them so much that he said to them, "You can do anything in your life if you believe that I am your God and because I love you that much." Today, I want you to think about something that you feel you cannot do. Maybe you struggle with reading. Maybe you struggle with sums, doubling and halving. Remember, we did that during lockdown. We're going to do that again. Maybe it's keeping your room tidy that you just completely struggle with and you just can't do it. Tonight when you pray, I want you to pray and give thanks first. Say, "God, I want to thank you today for loving me so much that I can do anything I set my mind to. Not because I'm that great, but because you have given me the power. And with you on my side, God, I can win any battle, even keeping my room tidy."